Hi, my name's Daisy and today I am reviewing The 100 Society by Carlos Bradbury. This obviously is an uncorrected proof, so this isn't the final cover. That is the final cover if you're wondering. The 100 Society comes out on the 4th of September 2014, and thank you to Hachette, or Hachette, I don't know quite how to say that, for sending me a copy because I really enjoyed it. And yes, I have had a haircut change, and let us get on to the review. The 100 Society is a game. It's a game with high stakes, thrills, and lots of spray cans. Grace wants to take part in tagging 100 locations around her city. Grace enlists 5 of her friends to help her out with the game. It becomes more than just a project or a game, it becomes an obsession to these kids. This book is considered a thriller, and I can say that it definitely lived up to that expectation. The thing with young adults, sometimes when they have a thriller, it doesn't always actually pan out right, because often you have a lot of adult novels that are thrillers, and it's obviously murders because they can go into more detail. However, even though this hasn't got really grisly details about some of the things that happen in here, it doesn't need it because it makes up for itself anyway. They all live in a boarding school as well, so it's very hard for them to actually go out and create the graffiti tags without getting caught. When a mysterious tag in the shape of a reaper keeps appearing where they have tagged locations, that is when things start to get interesting. Grace and her 5 friends start to become worried. They're starting to be stalked by this person, and they keep getting emails and texts, and it's really quite scary for them. I'm really impressed by Carla's writing in this because she managed to grip me pretty quickly. Although it took me a while to actually read the book, whenever I actually picked it up, I would be reading a whole big chunk of it because it just starts to grip you and you cannot stop and you want to know what happens next, and it's just a vicious cycle from there on. It's of course all about the suspense and building that, but I did feel kind of like I was in a little bit in a horror movie, and I could just see it playing out in my brain and just thinking, oh my god, this is a little bit creepy. The teenagers have to deal with very complex issues as well, and because they're in a boarding school, they're also being sort of told what to do a lot of the time, and they've got a bit of restriction on their lives, and they also have to deal with a death, which is a huge situation to have to deal with any time. That's also not a spoiler because it's on the back of the blurb, and therefore, if it's on the back of the blurb, it's not really spoiling you. The reactions to all these situations also are very real, and I feel like this is what would happen if it was in real life as well, so I'm quite impressed at that because obviously this is a fiction novel, but it's not actually set in like a dystopian world or something like that where they can kind of mould the situation a little bit different. It was also really nice to have it set in sort of a sixth formy bit at boarding school, because if you guys are out of the UK you might not know that sixth form is also the version of college here, so that is before university. So it's the 2 years between your sort of 16 and 18 generally, just so if people wonder what sixth form is, if you're from another country, there you go. I like how you're made not to trust any of the characters. You have to make your own conclusions about the characters while they're kind of shrouded in mystery and you don't know until the very end, and then there's a surprise that makes you go, whoa. I did not expect that ending at all. I'm actually going to do a little book recommendation right now because sometimes when I've watched something I kind of wonder what kind of books it might be similar to. So it might be that when I do reviews I might show you other books that might interest you if you like the sound of this book or you've read this book and you're watching just my thoughts on it and everything. However, Find Me by Romilly Bernard I really enjoyed, and I can kind of say it's a little bit like The 100 Society in the fact that it's a really great young adult thriller, and I obviously don't read a lot of thrillers because there's so many different things I have to read, contemporary and dystopian and then high fantasy and things like that, so thrillers I don't get to cover very often, but both of these books are really great. I ended up rating The 100 Society on Goodreads as 4 stars, and I think that's pretty good. I really enjoy Carlos Bradbury's writing, and I'm definitely going to read her future books or any books that she has currently at the moment, but I'm not sure if that's her first one or not, and I've got a really itchy nose now. So that's my really quick review, and tomorrow I am actually off to go see Rainbow Rowell in London, so I am immensely excited for that, and I hope to talk to you guys about that later in the week, next week, and thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and happy reading. Bye!